frantically gasping for breath. You can't help but wonder if you'll survive this assault. Continue. Now laying prone on the floor, blah 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 blah. You kick him in the groin. As the guard approaches you, forcefully kick off at his groin. The blow causes him to lose his balance, and you watch as he falls headfirst into the concrete floor. A nasty gash appearing across his forehead. Yes! The knife is sent flying out of his grip, landing on the concrete several meters out of reach. You immediately leap to your feet and ready yourself to exploit his weakened state. Kick him in the groin one more time! Good day everyone and welcome. My name is OrdinaryOli and today we're going to return with March of the Living Anna story. As you can probably see if you watched the last video, we have pretty much the same group. I think maybe one or two person is different. I think Elliot and Becky are different, but Damien is still infected like last time, where we not accidentally, we made some choices that resulted in our entire group getting killed just by pressing the wrong option. But Damien is infected again, and we are one click out from the ferry, so we're gonna get checked again for bites and stuff. And I've thought a lot about it. I have to kill an innocent person and see what that option leads us to, because the doctor is gonna say Damien or our entire group can't board the ship, and we're gonna have to kill him, because last time we let him push the button and security guard threw us out. So we're gonna try the same route now and kill him. Actually, we're gonna stab him, because that won't make much noise, and see what that leads, or what that does, because they might also hear that and kill us anyway. But we're gonna try and do that. And I really hate that Damien got infected, but it was like I played a couple of hours, I was already into it and almost near the part where I wanted to record from here, and he got infected. I don't want to start all the way over again, so now I thought about it. I made myself some coffee to cope with my options, and we're gonna kill the innocent doctor. You arrive in Wellston, exhausted from your journey. You take a moment to analyze the safest way to reach the docks on the city map you find on the sidewalk. The map is tainted with blood. Its previous owner must have met a dire fate. Analyze the map. The docks are on the other side of the city, and reaching them might prove difficult. Even if the docks might be secured, the streets of the city could still very well be filled with infected. So, last time we didn't have any of these options down here, number 2 to 5, but we had only number 1, and that worked out well. The good thing is now that we have Elliot, and I don't even remember if, because I played Greg's story before I played Hannah's story, and we had Elliot too there, but I think we chose the option with Olivia, where she scouted ahead because we had her too, and then I didn't do the option with Elliot. But I'm thinking I'm going to try and do the Elliot now, because he can try and help us find a car and race our way through the docks, and that might result in us avoiding a lot of fights. So, and we get there fast, of course, so let's choose Elliot. You agree with Elliot that finding a car is the best way to get to the docks quickly. Search for a car. So we've been searching and we found something, I think. You'll quickly find a car with enough fuel to get to the docks, but unsurprisingly, the car won't start. Don't worry, it's surely nothing. I can fix it, says Elliot. He's a mechanic. By the way, would you mind taking care of those growlers while I fix the car? No problem. Luckily that ain't... Okay, there is a couple of growlers there. But we're gonna have everyone move out. Can we use Elliot? Is he supposed to fix it? Oh, okay, we can use him too, I guess. He's not supposed to. Weren't he supposed to fix the car? I have no idea. Elliot, you got a shotgun, don't you? Why does he keep you? Oh, okay, yeah, okay. We can't use Elliot apparently because I can't click him up here. So Becky, you got a gun, and you're gonna go over here and then shoot that guy. Luckily, Sten got a shotgun. You can focus on that guy. Damien got a shotgun too. Focus on that guy. Anna, on the other hand, you are going to focus on that guy in front. And Becky, you're going to focus on that guy. Everyone's got their partner. Fair enough. Now, who's doing what now? Go for that guy. Okay. And Becky, you are going to shoot that guy there with a body shot. Should be able to do that. The noise attracted more effect. Oh, fuck, I forgot to notice that. Okay, everyone reload, stand still, wait for the group. Okay, so now we need to keep the noise level really low, because you can see up there it's actually at 75% or something. If it reaches 100, a horde like that up in the right corner there, you can probably not see it because of my face, but up here will come out again. And now you damaged them quite a lot actually. So we can have Damien take over while you move back, as to not get harmed. And hopefully, there we go. Good job, guys. I got it, shouts Elliot as you see more infected heading your way. You quickly jump in the car and head for the docks, running over as many infected in the process as you possibly can. I added a little bit more to that text since I thought it missed something, so we're gonna drive. Shit, okay. You arrive at the docks, exhausted from your journey. A long wall formed of scrap metal separates the dock from the rest of the town. A small raised gate is defended by 2 guards with several armed guards in each. Okay, fair enough. So we reach the docks now, and as you approach them, you hear one of the guards say, "I recognize that lot. They're ruthless and miserable. Bad luck that they showed up." Muttering can be heard in the tower above. Some of the guards look down with stony faces. "Watch them closely," another guard says as you continue walking. Well, this is different. What did I because normally when I reach those gates, everyone's cheering because they heard of our group and they were like, we were like fantastic and helped everyone and stuff. But I can't really remember what I did that could make people mad at our group, because I don't remember making any bad choices. I think that I killed 3 guys that were armed and searching an area close by. But I consider them being evil, because I've done that before, I think, and then I ended up with an option where everybody cheered on me. Well, continue. You pass through the gate and immediately lay eyes on it. The cruise ship moored at the docks. This is your only hope of getting away from the infected horde. Supplies are being loaded into the ship, crammed into every available spot. People scramble to load a supply of goods still waiting on the docks onto the ship. Others are carrying furniture away to make room for more supplies. It's obvious that people are moving with a purpose, trying to get the ship ready to go as soon as possible. As you approach, someone stops and points at you. "Look, newcomers!" Others stop what they're doing and watch you approach. "Hey, I recognize you." "And I recognize them," one of the crowd says. "I saw them murder someone in cold blood." "I heard they stole goods from a camp and a man starved to death," another says. "Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did steal something from a camp. There was like rabbits laying at a bonfire. There was no one nearby, and when I took them and ran, I got shot." I guess that's a bad thing here. But I don't remember killing someone in cold blood, but I must have done that, I guess. I must have thought they were evil, because I don't want to make any evil choices, but I guess sadly I did. But this is different. It's nice for a change. There's jeering and boos coming from the crowd as you continue walking towards the ship. "Boo! You killed a guy and make him starve other guys to death. Boo!" Who boos of that? A woman holding a clipboard walks up to you. "What supplies do you have? We need anything you brought with you." She takes your gear, writing down each piece of equipment on a clipboard. "Impressive," she says, and checks off the supplies. "We needed a lot of those supplies, so your arrival is godsend." You press further into the docks, moving slowly but steadily to the ship through the crowds. Oh, we're gonna meet the general now. The people stop as an older man in military uniform approaches. Others stand aside of some of them and salute. "It's the general," a man near you whispers. Well, 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 the general says as he approaches. "If it isn't the Growler destroyer themselves. I heard tales of the mad fighters who slide through the horde with like a hot knife through butter." The general stops and frowns. Just remember the enemy is the undead, not your fellow humans. That's right. Normally the general just salutes us and says nice or something, but I'm guessing we killed someone that's innocent. That's awful, but still interesting. After speaking with the general, you are directed towards a white tent set up in the corner of the dockyard. A young man in white uniform hurries you inside. "We need to check you over for bites," he informs you with a nervous stammer. You follow his orders and wait patiently as he examines you. Okay. Time for some choices. Oh wait, we have to trade good liar now. Oh, that means we doesn't have to kill him, maybe. Yeah, okay. As the young man examines Damien's arm, his face suddenly turns pale. He clears his throat before solemnly informing you that Damien is clearly infected and that he cannot be allowed to board the ship. He begins to reach for a large red button hanging behind him. I think the time when we succeeded without killing him last was trait intimidating, where we intimidated him. But let's try the good liar and convince him that Damien isn't really infected. Okay. Maybe I made a mistake, he sputters nervously. That was the same answer he gave when we intimidated him, I think. The young man stands up and grabs a handful of green wristbands marked "not infected" before tossing them at your feet. There you go. Just please don't tell anyone or I'm as good as dead. You put on the wristbands and head out the tent. Okay, so we didn't have to kill him. That's good. Continue. Sensing that departure is imminent, you begin to head towards the ship, but as you go, the sounds of heated argument can be heard coming from the gate area. Listening a little more closely, you can hear voices coming from just outside the walls, screaming, crying, and pleading to be let inside. Inside. There's no more room. Get the hell out of here, one of the tower guards yells fiercely. Moments later, the frantic argument ceases, and the sound of an engine starting up can be heard. Like the sound effects? You're glad they at least have a vehicle. Perhaps they'll survive after all. Oh, they're gonna do much more than just survive. Continue towards the ship. The sound of screeching tires suddenly echoes across the dock. You spin around just in time to see a section of the makeshift wall give away as a large truck crashes through at top speed. Another sound effect for you there. Debris is scattered in all directions, and the vehicle violently skids and swerves across the concrete. Finally, the truck smashes into a pile of supplies and comes to a standstill, smoke pouring from its end and block. Glazing back towards the wall, you can see that the gaping hole is allowing the infected to trickle through. It won't be long before the entire dock side is overrun. All around you, people begin to panic and scream, some running to fight the incoming rotters, while others retreat onto the ship's deck. Continue. The back of the crashed truck bursts out with a sudden clang, and a group of armed survivors climb out. Their clothes are dirty and torn, with many of them nursing nasty-looking wounds. A grey-haired man, clutching a baby in one arm and a pistol in the other, limps away with the from the smoking wreckage. I really like to think that's Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. He looks directly at you and calls out in a desperate tone, "Please, help us!" Before you can react, a heavily armed man pushes you past and aims his rifle directly at the survivors. "We already told you, you can't board the ship. You might be infected." The grey-haired man grits his teeth and raises his gun. "We're not going back out there." Last time I fought the guard to help the survivors, or the ones that just wrecked the wall. And I want to do that again, because I mean, the man's holding a baby. If they were like a ruthless group that didn't care about anyone but just themselves, they wouldn't hold a baby. I mean, they would have killed the person that had the baby, or killed the baby or something, and leave the baby. They wouldn't hold a baby then. They must be good people. I don't know if they're infected or not, but we are infected, and we went on board this ship by lying, so why shouldn't they? I mean, help the survivors again. How will you help the survivors? Convince the guard to let them aboard the ship. Wrestle the gun from the guard, shoot the guard. Try and convince him first. Look at them, for Christ's sake. They're covered in blood. We don't have time to check them for bites properly. We can't risk them coming aboard and spreading that filth. It doesn't look like you'll be able to change his mind. We wrestle the gun from the guard. I think we did that last with Greg also, but then we wound up in a really huge fight. It was super fun, but we wound up shooting him still in the end, I think. So I could just shoot him now, but I want to see if there's an option where we don't have to kill him. You want forward, slamming his shoulder into the guard's torso, sending him stumbling to the floor and his rifle skidding away across the concrete. The grey-haired man smiles at you in gratitude as his group of survivors make a dash for his ship. "You'll pay for that," the guard bellows as he jumps back to his feet, brandishing a combat knife. Raising it high above his head, he charges directly for you. Luckily, you manage to grab his wrist just in time, but the force of the impact knocks you back, sending your own weapon flying. You glance around, looking for somebody who could help you, but it seems everyone's too busy dealing with the infected. Continue. Continue. There we go. The guard raises his fist in a boxing style stance in preparation for an unarmed exchange. You sense that he's about to strike at any moment, and I think that we should kick at his knife hand. Oh shit, we lost an HP. You launch forward, rapidly swinging your left leg around towards your attacker's weapon. However, the guard manages to withdraw his arm in time to avoid the blow. He then swipes at the blade of the back of your outstretched calf, causing a nasty gash which sends you staggering back in pain. Continue. The guard raises his fist in a boxing style stance in preparation for an unarmed exchange. Blah 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 blah. Punch him in the face, punch him in the gut, grab the knife hand. Lost 1 HP again. You spring towards, grabbing at his knife arm with both hands. The guard reacts fast, swiftly pulling his weapon back and away from your grasp. In the process, the blade whips across your right hand, sending blood spurting out across the concrete. You stumble back, grimacing in pain. Continue. Okay, kick at his shin. 1 HP again. You launched forward, stabbing your boot down towards his shin bone. Unfortunately, the guard anticipated your move and simply bring his leg backwards, out of reach before retaliating with his knife. The blade slices across the top of your knee, causing you to wince with pain. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Punch him in the face. No! You close in for a right hook, but the guard seems well trained in close combat. He deftly ducks your punch while slashing out with his knife. You feel a sudden jolt of pain as the blade slices across your ribcage. Oh, stumbling back, you prepare your next move. So we tried kicking his knife hand, we tried kicking his shin, we tried grabbing the knife hand, we tried punching him in the face. And we've lost like 5 HP from that now. I think we have 10. Punching him in the gut, that's probably the worst thing to do with a guy with a knife, because you can just I mean, the head and the face you have to go up, and that's more difficult. And the legs you have to go all the way down, that's even more difficult. I don't know, kick at his head, and I lost 1 HP. I think it's just some kind of trick where whatever you do, you just die. But let's see, you launch forward, rapidly swinging your left leg round towards your attacker's temple. However, the guard simply leans back, avoiding your blow completely. Now with you off balance, the guard shifts his body weight forward, grabbing your ankle and shoving you to the floor. As you fall, your head strikes the concrete below with an almighty thud, leaving you dazed. Continue. Okay, now something new is happening at least. Now laying prone on the floor, you look up towards the burly guard who looms above. An evil grin appears across his face as he launches himself towards you. Sweep his legs. You attempt to kick out towards the attacker, but it's no use. The guard easily dodges past and slams his boot directly into your side. A blood-curdling crack can be heard as your rib bones give way, knocking the air straight out of your lungs. Frantically gasping for breath, you can't help but wonder if you'll survive this assault. Continue. Now laying prone on the floor, blah 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 blah. You kick him in the groin. As the guard approaches you, forcefully kick off at his groin. The blow causes him to lose his balance, and you watch as he falls headfirst into the concrete floor. A nasty gash appearing across his forehead. Yes! The knife is sent flying out of his grip, landing on the concrete several meters out of reach. You immediately leap to your feet and ready yourself to exploit his weakened state. Kick him in the groin one more time! The guard now lays prone and stunned on the floor in front of you. A worried look appears across his face as you begin to sense his fear. Pummel him with your fist. I'm way too excited for this. You pounce on top of the unconscious guard, slamming your fist down into his face again and again and again. It isn't long before you're beating his lifeless body. It's not really fair to smile while I read this, but your knuckles bruised and bloody with his face an almost unrecognizable mess. You eventually realize that the guard is dead, and breathing a sigh of relief, you slowly climb to your feet. Oh god, that was one heated battle. I really thought that I was like in a loop where I would die no matter what I did, because Anna's maybe weak at melee or something. I mean, I'm guessing we just needed a solid kick to the groin, and then but she could kill him with her bare hands. But I mean, I didn't want to kill the guard, but that is the only option, I think. Continue. What the devil is going on here? The general cries as he and several of his men rush forward. Stop fighting amongst ourselves at once. The real enemy is about to overwhelm our defenses, for crying out loud. He turns to you. I need you to keep the marauders at bay for just a few more minutes while we get the last civilians on board. You are our only hope, soldier. Yes, sir. Continue. Continue. The scene that now confronts you is one of utter carnage. Everywhere you look, the living are being torn apart by the rampaging hordes of infected. It's clear that very few of the general's men have survived the encounter, and those that are desperately scrambling to help the last of the civilians on board. It looks like it's down to you to keep the infected at bay until the ship is ready to leave. This is it. This is all that stands between you and salvation. You grit your teeth and prepare to fight one final time. Hold off the infected. Okay, so now we gotta watch out, because Anna has really, really low health, and the game's lacking a little bit. It did that with Greg's story too, but as soon as we started attacking, things got better. So, Anna, you got the rifle, and I really want you to take out those nasty looking, fast running guys. There we go. If you could take out that guy. If you could take out that guy. And then the next guy. Thank you. And then we might get some shotgun into this. just to try and oh, okay, Elliot, back off. Shotgun shot down there, and that's pretty focused. Maybe there. Becky, that guy there. Oh, yes. Oh, okay, time was it was getting really tricky there. Exhausted from slaughtering wave after wave of waters, you stagger backwards, unsure whether you can even keep going. Suddenly the ship's forward booms and out across the dockside. You glance up at the deck to see the general waving you towards the entry ramp. 2 men are already trying to detach it from the side of the ship as several infected are shambling towards them. You use your last ounce of willpower to make a desperate dash for the ship, dispatching biters left and right as you go. Continue. You race up the entry ramp and leap onto the deck of the ship just as the bolts are detached, sending the entire structure crashing down onto the dockside, crushing several waters in its wake. It's over. It's done. Spinning around, you suddenly understand just how precarious your situation had been. As far as the eye can see, city crawls with the hordes of undead. Hundreds, if not thousands, of the wild beasts now flood the quayside where you stood just moments earlier. You feel a strong vibration as the ship suddenly lurches forward and propels itself away from the harbor. You can't help but smile to yourself as you watch countless infected stumble and fall towards the murky waters below. Continue. Having barely caught your breath, someone official looking shouts for you to take some supplies below deck. You're given some rope and told to secure them near the engine room. You sit down and catch your breath as a man comes along. "Let's go," he grunts. I don't remember this part. You're shown to a large room filled with people, already stuffy from the people milling around inside. Someone throws you a sleeping bag and says, "Grab whatever floor you can. This is your new home for the next several months." It's not much, but it's better than running from the infected. Despite your bad reputation, you have been granted access to the ship and are safe. For now, at least. Click it. I clicked it. Thank you. I was trying to like do a dramatic thing with you guys while I clicked it. Okay, fuck that. Oh, holy fuck! I am satisfied with that ending. Of course, I don't like the part where I'm suddenly kind of a bad guy and have a bad reputation and people say I slaughtered people, but because I don't remember it like that. Yeah, I stole those rapids. I can't remember who I killed in cold blood, other than someone who was really threatening to me and my group. But then again, how was I supposed to know if they were good? Because if I talked to them, they didn't just shot me. What the hell? As when I rambled on, I saw this line actually coming up after editing the video, or when I edited the video. The line says, "I fought 3 persons claiming to be with the second revolution today. They were not threatening me, I only wanted their supplies." So I guess that I misunderstood a situation, and that resulted in me killing 3 persons that I apparently found threatening, but the game did not mean them to be threatening. So that's my mistake, but it makes a little more sense now why people blame me for being a cold-blooded murderer. I guess that's just the gist of the game. You can't know. You just do what's best for your group, and you have to live with the consequences. And that's what makes this game fantastic. Because it is really like, you know, The Walking Dead. Your group comes first. It's your group, nobody else. And it's your family. And you do whatever you can to keep as many as possible alive, but you run into certain bad and difficult situations that you're just gonna have to do your best to, well, survive. This game's just it's awesome. March of the Living. It's so cool, and I really love the pixelated thing they got going on. It just shows that even like 40 something years, 40 years into the game world where games are being developed, games that have like really huge pixels can still be widely popular, even though they are in like next gen graphics and CGI and whatever you want to call it. As long as the story is great and you feel like really in the game, you're in the game. In a way, it's not like it's VR, of course, but you feel like you are taking the different options, and you are living with the consequences, and that's just awesome. I love games like this, and that's also why I love games like The Walking Dead, the game by Telltale Games, where you also make the choices and the ending differs from what your choices are. And it's really something when you feel you're the one deciding the game and you're not just like someone controlling something, but everything just turns out the way it always does and you don't have to make any choices. Of course those games can be good, nothing there, but still, in loving memory of Tigers, I see there. Thanks for the good times, little guy. I didn't see that before. Rest in peace, Tigers, definitely. I always love when people like use credits to honor someone, and he probably had a big impact on the game development team, so paying respects to a guy like that, that's cool, really. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. That was the end of Anna's story, and it was cool. It was like Greg's story. Of course I shortened it a little bit, and I guess that's because I didn't want it to make it too long. The last Greg story was like 18 episodes, and many of them, they weren't quite boring, but they weren't really happening anything than me just traveling and facing the different parts of Consequence and so on. And this was just like the highlights of what happened in Anna's story and not just what happened on our travels. But I like this too, and of course I think there's 2 more, so if 2 more persons that you can play the story of. So if you guys want to see that, I'm gonna play those too, because that would be awesome. And I can't get enough of this game, so the most important part is just thank you for watching this one. I hope that you enjoyed Anna's story too, and if you want to check out Greg's story, I'm going to post links to those videos in the description below. I'm also going to post the links to my newly made Happy Wheels video, my first part. That was huge fun to make, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you want to see that, you can check that out in the description just below the video also. If you think that you might know someone who might enjoy this game or my commentary of it, it would be awesome if you could share this video with them. And you can also find ways to do that in the description or in the share tab also below the video. There's many things going on below the video, and if you wanna like recommend any game or something that you would like to see me play, it'd be awesome if you could do that in the comments too below the video. And oh, the one thing is, if you want to see more of my videos, you can subscribe to my channel, and that is gonna go after up on top of this video on my channel. You can subscribe there. So thanks for watching, and bye bye.